Okay, we're here with Fox Walks at the CIVIC TV HQ, and we're going to talk about her game streams, her IRL streams, her love of horror, and everything else that goes into the one incomparable Fox Walks. We got you on camera. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Yeah. I'm getting a little jankiness with the stream, but I put my faith in you that I am on camera right now.
You are on camera,
Hi.
and it's a little choppy, but it's there, and it is not dropping out yet.
Sweet. Yet. Keyword.
No one would say no to Fox. That's right, that Dan guy. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience as we get this going.
Oh no, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. Yeah.
So cool to see you and hear you, right, everyone?
Hopefully you can hear me this time.
And happy Halloween
yes,
again.
Happy Halloween. And you know, you wouldn't be a professional streamer on Twitch if you didn't have a ton of tech issues every time you go live. So yeah, we've all been there.
You hear that, everyone?
Yeah.
You hear that? Professional streamer on Twitch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And again, it's the spooky season. What have you been doing recently in honor of October?
I have yet to kick off my October. I've been traveling for the past couple weeks. I was out of the country for like a week. And then I went to TwitchCon and just got back from that.
Woo!
But yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
planning to decorate tonight. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to watch a spooky movie every night in my Discord with varying success. But yeah, we're trying to watch a spooky movie, a horror movie, something like that every single day for the month of October in my Discord. So yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, and
so everyone find the Discord. You know how to find it. Find Fox Walks. Someone shout out to Fox Walks. But we're watching some good ones today on stream as well, so stick around. I know you have great taste in horror. You picked out a great one for tonight.
I'm excited.
What's your recent favorite that you've watched recently?
Recent favorite. So yesterday, by request, someone in my server requested the original Scream from I think 1996, which I had not seen in probably 10, maybe 15 years actually.
Yeah.
So it'd been a minute. I actually forgot how it ended, which is awesome. I have this unusual talent, I'll just call it that, for watching a ton of movies and completely forgetting the plot or how it ends or anything. I know if I like them or not, can't remember how it panned out. So it was like watching it all over again for the first time. And my biggest takeaway was I can't believe I watched that movie over and over again when I was 10 years old. So
right.
That probably explains a lot about who I am today as a person.
I still remember watching it the first time in theater and having, I was old enough to not be scared, but I was having visceral reactions to those, knife stabs. Holy crap, they do that really well in that movie.
So good. It's so good.
And so, love having another fan of horror on the channel. Besides the horror movies, you're also into horror video games, is that right?
Kind of. That's been a much more recent thing for me. I had never played a horror game until maybe 6 months or so ago.
Oh wow, so it's only been that long. That's cool.
Yeah, kind of a recent thing I've been into. Just because I love being scared, and I think the reason I love horror movies is I can never find anything that quite scratches that itch to be really, really scared. And to me, the feeling of when you ride a roller coaster, thrill, that terror you get is exhilarating, and you get the adrenaline and the excitement. So I'm always looking for that in a horror film, and it's very, very hard to find. Even if the film is really well done, it's very rare I get frightened from a horror movie. But what I've discovered is horror games definitely tick those boxes. I think it's because the games are so much more immersive than the film. On a film, I'm watching these things happen to these people. Whereas when you're in a game, it's happening to you. And
Yes.
I've discovered I am a huge wimp when it comes to horror games, much to the delight of my community.
I think I might have an example of what you're talking about. Let me make sure. I think this is what you're talking about. Let's check together.
That's what screwed me over. I remember being so stuck as a kid, not being able to figure that out. Wait a second. What am I supposed to do? I can't. What am I supposed to do? Should I save and exit? Fuck. I feel like such an idiot right now, you guys. Okay.
That's quality content right there, let me tell you. And
if you're jumpy at all, stream a horror game. Get so much
you're
good
saying
content.
That's not your reaction to like most movies. I can't imagine.
No, like I can watch. I can't even think off the top of my head of a horror movie that's like really, really freaked me out. Maybe the alien abduction scene in Fire in the Sky, just because I have this thing about aliens that I won't.
You probably know that was based on a true story, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I just watched a documentary about that guy.
E.T. scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I don't know if I can. I'll go ahead and tell you about this very briefly.
Please.
When I was a kid, I think I was like 4 or 5 years old. I couldn't have been any older than 5. We had these next door neighbor kids who I played with. You know, they were probably a little older than me, maybe like 6 or 7. But one day, they took me over to their house to play. And I was hanging out in their attic, which was like, that was like the cool hangout space. Like they had sofas, the TV, the VHS player. And they discovered I was kind of freaked out by E.T., which was very popular at the time. And they literally like held my eyes open and forced me to watch E.T. as like a 4-year-old child. And I've been traumatized ever since.
It's been 6 months of playing horror games. That's not very long, but that's also, you got some experience under your belt. What's like the scariest horror game you've played?
So I feel like the scariest game I've played overall was actually the first one I played. And maybe it was because it was the first one, but it was called Amnesia Rebirth. I think a lot of people are familiar with Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which came out quite a few years ago. But Amnesia Rebirth, it was a very Lovecraftian, it was just the most messed up story. I kind of wish there was a film. There probably is because it's very Lovecraftian, but that game scared the absolute living shit out of me.
That's awesome. Everyone take notes.
Yeah.
So is that...
Amnesia Rebirth, highly recommend. I think it just came out in either 2019 or 2020, so the graphics are good.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I'm a big fan of the horror game where you're totally helpless. I'm not into like the action horror. I had a lot of people recommend, say, like Alien Isolation, those kind of games where you've got like a gun and you have to fight back. But I just want to run and scream and hide. To me, that's way scarier than being able to fight back. The whole like being totally helpless to me is much more terrifying.
I'm into that. Like, have you thought about getting into VR gaming?
So I have a VR.
You do?
I do. But I have not had the guts to try a horror game on it yet. I mostly play like Beat Saber.
Yep.
You ever heard of that?
Yep. Played it a little bit. I only, borrowed someone's rig at one point, but there is some Beat Saber. I had a friend tell me he couldn't handle the new Resident Evil on VR.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
That he just, it would give him nightmares, an adult male, supposedly adult male. Yeah.
Supposedly, right? Yeah, that's what I've heard. I think horror games, based on my reaction to horror games just like on a PC with studio lighting on me in the middle of the day, I don't think I could handle VR horror games.
So
I think I'd probably be like ripping the headset off of my head.
Just in case anyone isn't sure what reactions she's talking about, let's check out some of those reactions. We got more.
I hope I don't have nightmares tonight from this game. Okay, this guy was looking at really spooky shit and I don't want to look at it. But... okay. Oh! Wait, was that supposed to be scary or was that me opening the door? It's gonna... Is it gone? I think we're getting towards the end. We're back on our safe... back in our safe space, the subway. Oh.
Whatever you do, don't look behind you. Run.
Okay. Okay. We went down the stairs, right? Alright, let's hustle. Oh! I'm sorry. I feel so bad for screaming.
Quality.
And yeah, and here's the thing. Those are all dead-ass, genuine reactions. Like, you see Twitch streamers all the time. Before I started streaming on Twitch, I saw clips of streamers, like, doing the whole overreact thing. And what you just saw is not that. I swear on my life, those are completely genuine reactions that I have when that kind of shit happens in a game.
Somehow
it's just so much more immersive. Yeah.
So
that
fun.
second clip with the fart that you played, is actually from a demo I played recently. It's called They Are Here, and it's an alien abduction horror game. And I played the demo, and I have to say I don't think I could make it through the full game. I don't... I have a feeling my community is going to force me to play it somehow, but I don't think I could make it through the full game because it absolutely scared the crap out of me. That last moment, my mouse ended up like across the room from me flipping out.
Amazing. Needless to say, you're not immune. You're not immune to the games. Yeah.
Definitely not.
That's so fun. When you have those sound alerts on, do you just have them on full volume in your ear while you're playing the game?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good. You don't just play horror games. Obviously, you said that's been 6 months. And you play other games on stream as well, right?
I do, yeah.
And so it's not just all about the jump scares. It's not just like constant scream reel of Fox Walk screaming on your stream.
Yeah.
There's other stuff going on. And let's talk about it, but I have a clip to show people what I'm talking about. Let's check it out.
Why did everything just go flying off? Oh! Oh my god! What is happening? Did a dragon just oh my god! What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Oh my god! It's okay, wait. What is that? What is that? Oh! That legitimately scared me. That is a legitimate reaction. Oh my god.
See, it's not all horror jump scares. There's some Skyrim jump scares in there too.
Yeah. My main game, I spend more time streaming Skyrim than any other game. That's definitely my main content. So contrary to what my clips may indicate.
Right. I've never heard of this game, Skyrim. Is that a new game? I'm just joking.
Well, wait, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
So I went to TwitchCon last weekend.
Yes, TwitchCon.
And people always ask, oh, what do you stream kind of thing. And so I tell people, I'm mostly a niche streamer. I mostly main Skyrim. And 90% of the people I introduced myself to there at TwitchCon, at a gaming convention, had never heard of Skyrim.
Really?
Yeah, I was shocked. I don't know if just like the majority of people, well, it was like a mix. I met people who streamed like Minecraft and Roblox, and then I met people who do like FPS. And I guess Skyrim really doesn't overlap with either of those.
Yeah, that
but
makes
yeah,
sense.
I was shocked by the number of gamers who had never heard of Skyrim.
Dino Rancher says, "What's Skyrim, though?" Elder Scrolls V. Okay, I said that right? Right? No.
You got it. You got it. We're still waiting for 6.
Yes, and so yeah, and TwitchCon. That's super cool. I got more to ask you about with that, but
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm wondering, right? So, have you always been a gamer? Is that like?
Oh yeah,
Always been
100%. Like
Yeah.
since I was super little, I remember like kindergarten or first grade going over to my friend's house, and I think they had. I don't remember which year the Super Nintendo came out, but the Super Nintendo was really my first console.
Yes.
I kind of missed out on the whole Nintendo. I never had Nintendo. I don't think I ever played Nintendo until I was an adult, actually. But Super Nintendo, that was for sure my first console. And yeah, I was absolutely addicted to games ever since I played, Mario Kart for the first time. 1992, I think I saw in chat. Yeah, that sounds
Heck yeah.
accurate.
And yeah, so Mario Kart, that was like such a fun game, and now you go back and play the Super Nintendo Mario Kart, and you're like, how did I even function in this game back then?
100%. Yes. I remember going back. Well, we have like a huge retro game collection here at my house. Just like
Awesome.
probably thousands of games, and like every weird peripheral you can think of too. And yeah, recently we were doing like a retro game day, and we brought out Mario Kart and playing it. I was like, man, I was badass at games as a kid. I could never as an adult. I played the original Donkey Kong the other day.
Brutal.
And that shit is brutal. It's brutal. It's so hard. Like people say Dark Souls is difficult. These people have never played the original Donkey Kong.
The kids just don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like, what got you on Twitch? Was it the gaming? Were you watching gaming on Twitch? How did that work?
So I discovered Twitch. I'm pretty much a Twitch baby. I've only been on Twitch for like 2 years, I would say. I got into it because of the pandemic, like a lot of other people. Twitch saw a huge jump in viewership and user base during the pandemic for really good reason, because I mean, I was super isolated. I live in a state that had a pretty like really, really tight restrictions as far as like COVID precautions and all that go. So we were completely locked down. Like I was not leaving the house.
Right.
I had no contact with like my friends. And yeah, a friend of mine kind of started introducing me to Twitch through the more quirky, innovative, offbeat side of Twitch, because up until that point, I had always seen Twitch as like the stereotypical, like young dude playing Call of Duty and like overreacting, and that's what I thought Twitch was. But when this friend of mine started introducing to these more like kind of innovative, offbeat streamers, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll give this platform, a look. And it just really, seeing the kind of communities that were being built around this content was super appealing to me. And I found so much connection from Twitch, and just realizing that all these people came together over these different like genres of not just gaming, but also, art and movies and music and those kind of things. I really like found a home on Twitch, and it like totally saved my mental health during the pandemic. And I think a lot of people would echo that sentiment too, because without it, I was just so starved for like human interaction, and being able to get that on Twitch was, it like saved my life. No joke.
That's really cool. And I can echo some of that sentiment too. And Like, so you mentioned it wasn't just the gaming streams that got you into it.
Yeah.
What were a couple of the streams that inspired you to stream?
Yeah. So this is kind of like, all right, so tough question, because the streams that first really got me into Twitch and really saw the potential of like what community can do on this platform were probably Dandy Does It.
Nice.
I think there's probably people in chat who are familiar with her. And also Tom Thinks. Again, there's probably some people in chat. I recognize some names in chat of people who are probably familiar with his work.
Pants Clock
two
knows.
very like two very like innovative, artistic, creative streamers who just had amazing communities backing them up too. And once I was like fully bought into the platform through being part of their communities, that's when I finally got brave enough to kind of like go outside of that and dip my toe into gaming related content, because I'd been so turned off from gaming content on Twitch up until that point. Because like I said earlier, the stereotype of like the young white guy screaming at that Call of Duty or whatever. And Skyrim was one of my favorite games. So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to look for a game to watch on Twitch, what's it going to be? It's probably going to be Skyrim. And I discovered a streamer, her handle's Empress Freya, and she was just so laid back and so chill and so warm and welcoming. It's like, wow, you can be like this and you can be on Twitch. Like, you don't have to scream nonstop. You don't have to yell and, you know, all that. You can just like relax and be friendly to your community. And so by watching her, that's what made me think like, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could build a community of my own. Maybe I could, you know, create a space for people where they would feel comfortable to hang out and be their genuine selves. So
gaming can be super chill. It can be really fun to watch while it's chill. And believe it or not, I have an example of a chill game stream from Fox Walks. Let's check it out together, everyone.
Let's get some Dark Seducer armor. Oh, we did all of that and we didn't even get any extra armor. Well, poop. 900 to 1,000-ish. Potatoes never looked so deeply into my soul.
That's fun times.
Yeah, that was actually a clip from the charity stream I did a few months back. Back in June, I did a 12-hour charity stream for Trans Empowerment Project. Yeah.
Very cool.
And it was awesome. That's why there was like so much shit going on the screen, because we had some special stuff going on for the money we raised. But yeah.
There was a lot going on in that stream, and it's like another way to engage your audience, right? Is
absolutely.
All the cool graphics. The potato that people are dropping in the chat, legendary. Potato with the face. What made you come up with that as like your, was it a snap cam filter?
Yeah, to be honest, it's snap cam, and we had some really good moments happen on the stream. Some freeze frames, some great faces.
Heck yeah.
And it's just become very endearing. Yeah, I'm never going to lose the potato.
That's awesome, dude. I like potatoes too, you know? Like
they're a complete food. Or at least that's what the internet tells me, and I refuse to question it. Because
that's right.
I like French fries and mashed potatoes and all that.
The internet is the truth.
Yeah.
So like, I mentioned another cool way to engage with your audience is like what you have, your overlays, like the cool extra things going on the screen. And like, you know, going back to like what brought you in and everything, I think a lot of people who are in the creative end of streaming don't remember that these tools that are built up as like a way to build community on Twitch were built on the backs of the gaming streamers, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's a really good point.
And so it's like without those gaming streams, we wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have Tom Thanks, which is another one of my like early favorites, by the way. But
awesome.
I think the first time I saw you on Twitch, you were co-streaming with Dino Rancher and OG Snack Man, both in the chat.
Oh, no shit. Really?
Yeah. And
that's awesome. I know OG's in chat right now. Hi, OG. And Dino, I think, is in chat too. Yeah.
And so, yeah, like gaming just like has that built-in like, you know, multiplayer mentality and like that networking ability that like really lent itself to not only Twitch but Discord as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and having a I was totally unfamiliar with Discord when I started on Twitch.
Same here, yeah.
And I very reluctantly created a Discord server because I was like, Discord sucks. Can't we go back to AOL Instant Message?
Yes.
Not that I'm trying to date myself too much or anything, but
news group message boards.
But really, I am so grateful for Discord because it is such an amazing tool for building and engaging a community. And your server is a great example of that for sure. But the community I've been able to, you know, build up through Discord is something I could never do when I was just live. You know, live is where you meet people, but then you really grow those relationships and those connections to such a greater extent when you're in the Discord. So I'm super thankful for Discord and it being a tool that we can use as streamers to leverage to not just like promote ourselves, but to actually like facilitate those relationships with people.
And you complimented my Discord, but you have a badass Discord too. I'm plugging
Thank
it.
you.
Go again, check out Fox Walks, get in her Discord. It's awesome. There's movies there too. I mean,
yeah. We watch a lot of terrible movies though, so just prepare yourselves. Although I feel like the viewers of this channel are probably well prepared to consume the kind of content I put out on there.
We're all about terrible movies here.
Sweet.
And so, yeah, and you got into it, you got into streaming, you got into gaming. A lot of it makes sense to me. There's this one thing I need your help to understand. GeoGuessr.
I'll do my best.
Okay?
I'll do my best.
Like, I've seen GeoGuessr streams, and I kind of get what's going on there, but what is the deal with GeoGuessr? I kind of don't get it at the same time.
You've never played GeoGuessr before?
No, I haven't.
What? Okay, Civic GeoGuessr stream when? Because GeoGuessr for me has been one of the best ways to engage community. Like, a lot of people play, you know, quote unquote community games, and they're playing, you know, Jackbox or Fall Guys or whatever, which are super fun in their own right. But GeoGuessr brought so much more hype to the stream than anything else I had ever played. And so GeoGuessr is basically, it utilizes a Google Street View.
Yeah.
And so it will drop you someplace in the world, and then you have to figure out where you are just by looking at your surroundings with like no clues other than what you see on the street around you. And obviously there's different like difficulty levels. You can turn off movement, you can turn off like panning and zooming, but we have had a ton of fun with GeoGuessr. And there's also another game that has really been even more popular with my community called GeoBingo.
Oh, nice.
And GeoBingo is like a worldwide scavenger hunt. So you get a list of like, say, 5 things you have to find, like a heart, a fish, someone wearing a red jacket, you know, etc.
And then have everyone to be on camera on Street View, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so then the community goes wild. Like as many people, I think up to like 600 people can play at the same time. And everyone goes wild just scouring Google Maps, trying to find those things and taking like a snapshot of them, and then you review them all at the end. So not only is it fun for a lot of people to play, it's really fun to watch too, because then you get to see the streamer, you know, react to everyone's submissions, and the community can upvote or downvote. Like, does this count or does it not, kind of thing. I love that. So yeah, if there's anyone, I mean, it's fun to play just as a viewer, but also as a streamer, it's a super good way to engage your community too.
It's
so,
like,
yeah, it's been a while since we've done one of these streams. I'm way overdue for a geo stream for sure.
It's like geo-guessing categories. No.
Yeah, I love it.
That's dope. I've got to try it out. If anyone really doesn't know what I'm talking about, here's just a quick clip, just a quick sample of what I'm talking about.
Daycare or so? Isn't that just a yellow? Oh wait, yeah, because this flag is definitely, to me it looks like stripes, like blue and yellow stripes. And there's a lot of English, but also some other language. Let's see what we've got. Prestige hygiene services. Oh, we do have a, I think it's .uk. No, what does that say?
Ooh, I saw that too. And then there was like a country code on the phone number, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
so
That was an old school clip, man. That was from before I had like a webcam and everything
I
too.
like to
Like I was
dig
using
in.
my phone as a camera back
Oh,
in the day.
nice. Yeah, for sure. And so I'm really glad I asked, though. I feel like getting into it now. That's awesome.
Oh, it's super fun. Yeah, I need to do a geo stream soon, and you should come by if you're available because
Yes.
it's so much fun. One of the things we do on Geo Bingo too is we always do like a show and tell, and so that's like even if you suck at Geo Bingo because it is pretty challenging, you can just show me like the coolest place that you personally know of
Oh, dope.
anywhere in the world, and we'll talk about it, and you can tell me about it in chat and stuff. And yeah, community engagement, it's super good for that.
That's awesome. And you already mentioned, right? You did a charity stream, a 12-hour charity stream you mentioned?
I did, yeah. I've done a couple. The first one I did, I put no planning into, and it wasn't a long stream or anything like that. But the one I did back in June, I did for Pride Month. We have a super queer-friendly community. I did it for the Trans Empowerment Project, and I think I set the goal at like, it was something relatively low, like maybe $200 or maybe $500. But we raised over
Achievable.
$800, which
That's
was
awesome.
awesome.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was super good. I was shocked.
Achievable goals are important.
Yeah.
So now I'm not sure which of those I pulled this clip from, but I have a really fun clip from one of your charity streams. And then
Awesome.
let's talk about it some more.
Daycare or so? Isn't that just a... Be careful! No, take it more seriously! Do you need to like change position or anything?
No, you just need to sit very still.
Okay, wait, let me compose myself.
You need to be very composed.
Just the way you're doing it.
I don't know where to start. I want to start in the middle. I want to start in the middle.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
Here we go.
Okay, wait.
Love it. So that I saw that was the Trans Empowerment Fund. You were almost
Yes.
at your 800 goal right there. That's fun times.
Yeah, that was, we had different tiers, like different incentives for the community or stuff I would do on stream depending on how much money we raised. And one of the biggest ones was for my husband to do my makeup live on stream. And it was a ton of fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I can't believe I finished out the stream looking like I did, but it was a blast.
That's right. You look back at it and you're like,
I did it
was
for
all
the
charity."
content, you know?
Right, yeah. That's fun. And have you ever checked out Catterday on Twitch? You know what I'm talking about? It's like collective of people that do fundraising events. So
You fundraised for them before,
yes.
right? Yeah, I've
Good
been on
memory.
your stream before when you were participating in the fundraiser for Catterday. Yeah, I
Awesome.
have checked them out. They do
And-
some really awesome stuff.
I really feel like you could fit in with the crowd. I mean, it's like all types of streamers. And so if you're into the charity streams, I recommend it. Check out Catterday. It's run by Darth Rips. And I can give you some more information after this, but he has a Discord for it specifically.
Oh,
They
awesome.
organize it last Saturday of every month. And
Sweet.
you know,
I am super interested. Yes. Yeah.
it's
hook
always a
me
different
up.
charity. And they've raised over $50,000 for charity over
That's
their
incredible.
existence. Yeah.
Awesome.
Really cool.
I'm in. I
Heck
would love
yeah.
to be part of that.
And that's really cool that you're into that you've done the charity streams. Super cool. Yeah, Catterday folks are so nice, like it says in the chat. So I've sort of been building up to chatting with you about the IRL streaming. So I'm very interested, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting
Tell me
more
what
and
you wanna
more
know.
into it. Like I'm getting more into watching IRL streams. It's really fun. And like
It is super fun.
now
Yeah.
you're doing it too. That's pretty recent, right? Like
Yeah, fairly recent. I will tell you, so when I first started my Twitch channel, my name is Fox Walks,
Yeah.
right? And so my original intent with my Twitch channel was to be pretty much like 50% gaming and 50% like real world content where I was like out and about IRL streaming outdoors, right? But what I discovered is IRL streaming is a lot harder to get into than gaming streaming. So
yeah.
there's been quite a bit of a delay of me getting into it, and I'm just now fairly recently learning more and more about it and trying to do it on a more regular basis. But yeah, there's quite the barrier to entry when it comes to IRL streaming, unfortunately.
And what are some of those barriers?
So
there's the technology end of it, right?
And that is 100% it. It's the tech. So you can stream from your phone, but Twitch right now, Twitch's like native app for IRL streaming works some of the time. Maybe yeah. It completely stopped working for me actually, so I haven't used it in probably over a year. There are other apps you can use, but none of them are great. None of them give you the same capability as like using OBS. There's no mobile OBS, basically. So you have a lot of different options as far as what you're going to run software-wise to run your stream. And then, yeah, I see Roy mentioning in chat, connectivity is the biggest thing.
One, right?
Yeah, so you're using cellular networks. And if you're a phone streamer like I am right now, you've got that one cellular network. And if you don't have a strong signal in that place where you are, your stream is going to look like shit. It's going to disconnect completely. It's not going to create a great experience for the viewers in the community. There are some ways around that.
You mean you don't have like 6 SIM cards and overlapping like data plans and like...
I don't yet. That's the dream, wow. Civic. That's the dream. That's like long-term goal. You can get a setup that runs like 4 or 5 different networks all at the same time. But it's an expensive setup for sure. And I'm not quite there yet.
There are many levels to that game, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's cool that you intended to get into that the whole time. I sort of thought, you know, like, did she change her name to Fox Walks when she started IRL streaming? But no, that was always the intent. It's a perfect name for it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And like, did you see that early on Twitch? Was there an early IRL inspiration?
No, it's only super recently that I've started watching more IRL streamers, and going to TwitchCon really opened my eyes a lot because I was able to connect, like everyone is streaming at TwitchCon, right? And so it was a really easy way to identify a bunch of IRL streamers and connect with a lot of people who do that kind of content. And it was also kind of refreshing to see like the dramatic difference in everyone's setup too. It made me not feel quite as bad being a phone streamer.
Yeah.
But they do have some pretty sweet setups for IRL.
And I can tell you, right, it was a really unique experience watching from the outside. So, you know, there were a lot of people streaming, like you said.
Yeah.
And so, like I watched with my wife and she'd be watching a streamer. We'd each be watching a streamer and then they'd meet up and then be streaming together at the same time or refer to like,
it's wild.
You know, where is such and such? And then, you know, someone from like Isidore's channel goes over to their channel and finds out where they are, comes back and reports to chat. It's a weird world out there is what I'm getting
And that was
at.
happening nonstop during TwitchCon. And I was doing it in my channel too. I'm like, if anyone can like hop over to this channel and figure out where he's at, or if anyone could ping this person so I could meet up with them. It was wild. It was a ton of fun though. Yeah.
So cool. And like, so let's get into it a little more. Like what happened at TwitchCon? What's that all about? What is TwitchCon?
What is TwitchCon?
Yeah.
So TwitchCon that's a great question. So
yeah, right.
TwitchCon is obviously, it's a convention put on by Twitch, and it's put on by like Twitch corporate. So it's 100% staffed by Twitch. It's not like a volunteer thing. It's not like a community-based thing. It's a big event put on by Twitch. And I kind of thought, when I went to TwitchCon, I kind of thought it was 100% targeted at streamers, right? Mm-hmm. Because I didn't see... I'm a viewer just as much as I am a streamer. Maybe more a viewer than I am a streamer. And I didn't see like a huge incentive to go to TwitchCon as a viewer. But there were a ton of community members there, which I was really surprised by. And that was awesome, you know, because without community members, Twitch essentially doesn't exist. But
I could see it like wanting to see like behind the curtain and like get to meet some of these people too. Yeah. And that happens a lot, right? Like meet and greets.
Yeah, definitely. That was a huge thing. So it was a whole weekend of basically panels, workshops. They had exhibitors. They had the meet and greets. They had an artist alley. There were like after party type events. But what I realized, like the second I got to TwitchCon, is I don't know shit about who's who in the world of streaming.
Okay.
Like I don't know any of these people. They've got like huge, displays with like these people's faces just like 100 feet wide, and I've never seen any of these people
And you're
before.
just like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. Like, yeah.
And there's
Okay.
like lines 2 hours long to meet some of these people, and I felt bad because I'm like, I don't know who anyone on Twitch is. Like, my circle is so small. Like, Twitch is both a really small world and also way bigger than I thought.
Enormous,
I
right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I've put some effort into like getting to know who some of these like, like when some of these like mega tier streamers, who are these people that have millions of followers. And even still, like even after learning a lot of these people's names and sort of what they're all about, I still find out about ones that are like, oh, you don't know Dream, like it's like, no,
I had no idea who Dream was until last week.
right. And then, my stepson's like, yeah, duh, I watch Dream, or I used to, like, like, but
yeah, it's crazy. And I've done the same. Like, that was one of my big takeaways from the conventions is I feel like I need to make a little bit more of an effort to like know who these people are, so I don't make a total fool out of myself when I meet someone,
I think it's this cool intersection of like, these people are like really well known and also not at the same time. It's that type
Absolutely.
of celebrity. Like you could walk right past them, on the street, but really they have 21 million followers or whatever. Like,
exactly. And that was another thing I said is like, it's not like they're, Brad Pitt or whoever, the most famous movie star you can think of is, because when I was there in San Diego, I didn't meet a single person from outside the convention who had heard of Twitch before.
oh wow,
Like
yeah,
all ages of people, like my Uber drivers, hotel staff, like even people like younger than me had never heard of Twitch before. So like these people, even if you have millions of followers, they're like no one to these people.
that is wild. Even being there, like, I mean, I imagine it becomes pretty hectic there around the convention center in San Diego, right?
Insane. It was insane. I was not prepared for how lit San Diego was going to be with TwitchCon in town.
Yeah, and
it was absolutely wild.
But even still, like the people just outside have like no idea what Twitch is itself. I guess I get that.
Yeah,
but still,
I met people like at the hotel bar, the hotel at the convention center, and they sat down next to me and they saw my badge that said TwitchCon. They're like, "What the hell is Twitch?"
What's
like
that?
We see all these people with these. There's like 25,000 people here for the convention, and these guys are like, "What is Twitch?"
Isn't California supposed to be hip? No.
Twitch niche. I don't know about these people I met at the bar. They work for like the oil and gas industry,
enough,
so
right.
I kind of don't blame them for being out of the loop. But
they're at the convention center hotel. That's fair enough. Okay.
Right?
I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
True.
No, absolutely. And hey, so I actually lurked on some of your stream from TwitchCon. I had a lot going on, but I would have interacted more. But I saw some of this, like, tell me about this rig you got to test drive at TwitchCon.
Going back to the different kinds of IRL setups you can use if you want to stream like IRL outdoor, out in the world. Most of the time I use my trusty iPhone and that's it. Like iPhone and a battery pack, and that's all I've got. But there is this company called Outdoor IRL, and they had a booth at the convention, and they were letting people borrow this mobile streaming setup called the Live U.
That sounds insane.
And it's like $2,000 to $2,500 to buy it, and it's an IRL streaming backpack. And so it's got a battery that has like 10 hours of battery life. It's got like mobile routers. It can fit, 5 different SIM cards with high-speed data on different networks. And it has like an action camera. So kind of like a GoPro, but their go-to is something called the Sony Action Cam.
Cool.
And so altogether, the setup, the backpack and everything is about $2,000, plus dollars. And they were just like letting people borrow them at the convention.
And you just sort of
with
walk
like,
up and grab one?
yeah, you just walk up and you're like, hey, do you have any backpacks available? And they're like, oh yeah, you want to come back at 11:30? I've got one for you then. I'm like, okay.
That is so cool.
And they didn't like take my name or my credit card information or my phone number or anything. Although people in chat did point out that they did have my Twitch name. So
Sure.
they basically probably had everything. And then I met another IRL streaming duo later in the convention. They said that they have GPS enabled because I was like, hey, I could just walk out with this thing.
Yeah, the GPS,
it was pretty
right.
sweet. Yeah, it was pretty
That's a great
sweet.
point.
But it is heavy. And from talking to some of the other IRL streamers I connected with at the convention, a lot of them said they kind of prefer phone streaming because it is more, like, it's more stealthy, it's more mobile, it's super lightweight. Whereas the LiveView IRL backpack it's heavy and it's pretty cumbersome. But the quality that you get from it, like, there's no comparison, obviously.
And so just to be clear, like when you go out with your phone to stream, is it literally just your phone? Is that like how, yeah, that's, you're just on the phone battery with like, and that's it. You're just going for it with the phone. Yeah.
Yep.
That's dope. Yeah. Like, I hear about these rigs and hear about how much it takes to set them up and then like, you know, forwarding the like stream to your like system and then out to Twitch and just like madness. It seems crazy.
Yeah.
But,
and the LiveView system that I was using, so it runs like OBS on a remote server for you.
Yeah.
But there is like the step up from what I'm doing right now with my phone that I'm probably going to be doing next is creating a setup with like a mobile router that lets me connect to OBS running on my PC.
Yes.
And so I'll be running the stream through my PC and essentially just using my phone, or I could upgrade to a GoPro or something as the camera. So that's like a good in between. It's a much lower cost than setting up something like a LiveView, but hopefully it is supposed to give you more stream, like, you know, you make your stream more reliable because you have disconnect protection, things like that. Then.
Heck yeah.
So there's a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, so the stream at least stays up. Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
And OG Snackman asks, have you seen Hitch? He streams hitchhiking. That's one of Crackmother's favorites, so I've definitely watched with her. Wild.
He
hitchhiked across the country to get to TwitchCon, right?
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty fantastic. And part of his deal is he doesn't ride with someone for more than a day. So even if someone could take him the entire way, he gets out and like hangs out and then gets another ride.
That's awesome.
So cool. Yeah, there's so many, like, there's a wide variety of things you can do with an IRL stream. I actually have a really cool example of something you shared with me that I'd like to share with everyone. Check out this In Nature IRL stream from Foxlocks. Check it out.
Oh, this is a little baby guy.
Softies and a crunchy one.
Yeah, this guy's kind of. Oh yeah, there's one here. So it's like two babies. Oh yeah.
5, 6.
Oh my gosh, it's like the ultimate starfish rock. Wait, I count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
7.
There's 3 down here.
What? Ah, that's so cool.
Oh, 8.
Oh, another one.
9.
Oh my gosh, yes. This is so cool. Look at how many. I wonder if they're just basically everywhere along here.
That's magic moments caught on camera. That's super cool.
Yeah. And that was one of the most fun times I've ever had IRL streaming. We had what they call an ultra low tide here in the Pacific Northwest. So the tide was out like so much further than it normally is that you were able to walk like way, way out into the ocean and see stuff that's not normally, you know, exposed to the air. And I was like, you know, fuck it. I don't know what the reception's going to be like, but I'm going to try to stream this for people. And it was awesome because I had people in chat. Someone at TwitchCon actually asked me, they're like, well, what's the point of watching an IRL streamer? Like, couldn't I just go do this stuff myself?
Yeah.
And my response to that is like, no, not everyone can. I talk to people in chat who are like, I live in the middle of nowhere surrounded by farmland. I've never even seen the ocean before. I had someone who said they have like mobility issues, so getting out to places like that isn't possible. So they really appreciate like being able to see that stuff. And that's one of the things that really motivates me to do IRL streaming, is being able to share those kind of experiences with people who would never normally see them. And not just like watching a nature documentary, getting to experience it with someone. Like I'm taking them with me and talking with them and showing them what they want to see. That's what makes me really excited about IRL stuff.
When literally anything could happen. It's not like edited, you know? Like, yeah. And someone says, I'm in another country, you can't get here by bus.
Exactly.
And like I was gonna say, I love, you know, some Tokyo IRL streamers, people in South Korea, and people who like really like go to different countries and stream
I
all
watch a
over the
lot
place.
of that.
Yeah. And which it seems like in both those places, South Korea and Japan, the network connectivity is so much better. Their infrastructure for it is so much better.
Good. Like the upload speed on some of these like videos I watch, I show them test their upload speed, and they've got an upload speed of like 400 where I'm running on like 15 to stream.
Yeah.
It's like insane. Yeah, I want to do some IRL in Japan super bad.
Yeah. So cool. And by the way, they're opening up to tourism again.
Yeah. Yeah, as of I think the 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had a trip to Japan planned during the pandemic that I had to cancel. So
bummer. Yeah, you can make it happen again. And so like, oh, by the way, so what you said about people with limited mobility or wherever you are in the world, it brought to mind the movie Brainstorm. Have you ever seen that movie? It's Christopher Walken.
I've never seen Brainstorm. What? No.
You got to check it out.
Okay, wait. Let me write it down because I will totally forget.
Brainstorm starring Christopher Walken. And so it's not exactly streaming, but that's the idea, is you record memories firsthand from people, and then other people can play those back with full sensory input, so they can taste, touch, and hear and see everything that this person did. And
sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah,
Well, Black Mirror probably stole from Brainstorm.
I was just gonna say, and this was like early '80s, if not like 1980 or something like that. It was very early '80s. Yeah. And so it's like a cute like concept that they go deep, they go hard in that movie.
Awesome! I will absolutely check it out.
And so back to TwitchCon.
Yeah.
Any advice for someone wanting to go? Crack Mother and I, my wife and I, kind of want to go next year. Is there any words of advice, sage wisdom?
Yeah. Go with people. Go with friends.
Yeah.
That was my biggest takeaway, is that most people attending TwitchCon have like a squad with them. Most people are going there specifically to meet up with people.
Yeah.
And I was mostly flying solo. There were a couple people I knew from Twitch who I had planned to meet up with, but for the most part, I was like, I'm going into this totally solo. And that was my biggest regret. Like, I wish I had been more upfront with the people I knew who were going and been like, hey, can we plan to get together here and then?
Yeah.
Because it is so much better if you have a group of people, because you don't realize how overwhelming it is or how many people are there until you're like in the thick of it. And then you realize like, I'm not going to be able to find those people.
It's not easy to wing.
and it's really overwhelming. Yeah. I would say definitely take business cards with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right.
100%. And yeah, I would say just try to meet as many people as possible. I think I was kind of stuck in my shell for the first day or two. And by the end of the convention, I was out and I was chatting and networking with people a lot more. But I felt like I should have been doing that from the get-go. But I think I was just so overwhelmed with like how many people are at the convention that it was kind of a shock to me, especially after, 2.5 years of not really going out to events that size. That was a lot. So I would say like get friends together, get your business cards together, have your elevator speech ready to go.
There you go.
And just talk to as many people as you possibly can. Make connections.
That's business talk right there. Get your elevator pitch down. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to your other point, yeah, if you have like your crew with you, or like you have at least someone with you, that can kind of get you out of your shell too. You just push yourself to go meet people. Yeah, totally. And so I have a couple moments to share from your TwitchCon experience, and
awesome.
then we'll come back. Yay!
I will probably meet Duty Beard. I actually have no idea who he is. But I will probably meet him tomorrow at the Pog tournament. I don't know if anyone in chat is old enough to remember Pogs, but Pogs were like a big part of my childhood for about a year, maybe 6 months. Oh, lovely ice cream dipper. Thank you. I appreciate that, Muggles. Pogs. Poggers. Okay. So I think so they're not going to walk around. I was imagining like it was going to be an iPad on a robot and it was going to like roll around the convention floor. Because I thought that would be really cute. There's another. Yes, yeah, hi, how's it going? I just did a couple laps around the con.
How was that?
And now, it was okay.
Okay.
I don't recognize very many people. There are a lot more streamers in the world than I anticipated. Let me turn my camera around so people can see you if that's cool.
It's kind of new trying to network and make some friends out here.
Yeah, yeah. Do you mostly stream IRL?
I'm just getting into it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, so is this your setup or did you rent it from the convention?
I borrowed this setup from a friend of mine who streams. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
It is a nice one. Is this a Sony Action Cam?
I think so.
Yeah. This is a legit. And do you have like the routers and stuff in your backpack? Oh, I am so jelly.
I think mine has like upgraded RAM or something, so it's faster.
Yes. Yeah. I am so jealous. That is awesome. Can I? Is it cool if I?
Yeah,
Jake and Bake. I've heard of you.
Really?
But see, I don't recognize anyone.
I was doing Pokemon's cameraman in Korea, so that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let me show. If someone in chat can give him a shout out, that would be awesome.
And your name?
You're not new to this, are you?
I am.
You're not really new to this. I feel like I recognize your name.
Walks. Do you cosplay as a fox? VR chat.
No.
Okay.
VR chat.
I just walked a guy named T-Dog. I walked him on a leash. He was a VR
Really?
chat. Yeah.
Oh. Is he letting everyone do that, or?
I think it was a special occasion.
Oh, just for you. Well, hey, it's nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
I think you're pulling my leg though. I think you've been doing this for a while.
Hope to see you in chat.
Yeah, take it care. I think that guy was like a little bit famous. I was like, I didn't know. I don't recognize anyone. Like I saw his badge and I was like, wait a second. I'm like, you were pulling my leg.
I think a little bit famous is like appropriate though. Like that's great though.
Yeah. To be true, he's not, like I said, he's not Brad Pitt, but yeah, that clip is beautiful because I walk up to him and I'm like, yeah, I realize I really don't know anyone in the streaming world, and he just took full advantage of that.
He just rolled right with it. That was funny with
Jake and Bake is a pretty, I'm sure there's probably a lot of people. I'm hoping that there are people in your chat right now who don't know who he is. He's a pretty big IRL streamer. He streams a lot in IRL in Japan, actually, like we were talking about, and he has about 700,000 followers, and he had about 1,500 people watching during that moment.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's humbling, I'm sure.
It is, yeah. And I hope it's humbling for him, because I hope he was like, well, yeah, I guess not everyone really knows who I am, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, go check him out, everyone. But before you ever do that, follow Fox Walks. Fox_Walks. Follow her on Twitch. Follow her on all of the social medias.
Things.
What are your like top social medias? Like, like where will people find you?
I guess Twitter and Instagram are the two I use the most. I actually have met more people. I'm so glad I got onto Twitter prior to TwitchCon, because I resisted Twitter for like the past 10 years.
Sure. Yeah.
To me, it sounded like a shit show or whatever. I mean, which social media platform isn't it?
It completely is. No, yeah.
But I guess that would be another good piece of advice for a streamer going to TwitchCon. Put some effort into connecting with people on Twitter. I was able to connect with a lot more people on Twitter that were going to TwitchCon than I was like on Twitch itself. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I was able to like track some people down and connect with people 100% thanks to Twitter, and I would have never even known they were at TwitchCon if it weren't for that. And I'm starting to try to do YouTube a little bit. I know we're all being pushed to like diversify. But mostly I'm on Instagram and Twitter a whole bunch.
Cool. And then like what comes next from the stream, from your Twitch stream? What's the future hold for Fox Walks?
I think I feel like this is so controversial for me to say to like people in my community, but really trying to put a lot more focus onto my IRL content.
Controversy.
Putting a little bit, yeah, because you know there are people. Most people who watch me have followed me because I stream Skyrim, and that's it. Like I'm super involved and ingrained with the Skyrim community, very like specifically on chat, on Twitch. I mean. And I know IRL content isn't what a lot of people want who watch gaming, you know? So
just let them know you're taking this Skyrim action into the real world. Right?
100%. Like the best mods you could ever ask for, like hyper realistic. But yeah, I'm hoping to do a lot more IRL content. It's going to be tough as the weather here in the Pacific Northwest kind of changes for the winter, but
it's ready to kick off, right? It's getting cold here. It just got cold
here
today, basically. Yep.
But more IRL, and then hopefully doing. I got a lot of inspiration from TwitchCon to do kind of more offbeat stuff. I took an improv workshop there, which was absolutely fantastic.
That's
so, hosting something outside of gaming is kind of where I want to go next with my content. I'll never leave gaming behind because gaming is kind of that cozy, intimate, like lets me kind of just chat and connect with people without any other distraction. And you can't do that if you're like hosting a special event or doing IRL. But I want to get more into like the creative kind of offbeat comedic side of Twitch if I can.
Dope. I think you're in a good place for that. I think you got a good start.
I appreciate that.
And I really appreciate you coming and being super patient while we worked out this stream.
Oh, 100%. I am so happy to be here. I am a huge fan of the content you put out, so I was really flattered that you asked me to be here tonight, and it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And before we get out of here and change the channel again, what's up with this movie we're about to watch? Society?
I don't want to tell anyone anything about it.
That's solid. That's a fair point. Absolutely.
Yeah, the first time I saw I think we froze.
Yeah, I know, right at the end there, but you're here.
On like the worst possible screenshot of it.
I apologize. We'll edit that out.
No, you're good. But yeah, when I watched Society for the first time, I knew literally nothing about it. It had just been recommended to me by people who knew my taste in movies.
That's so
And they're like, seriously, just watch it. Don't look it up ahead of time. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. And I think, yeah, I would say the same thing. If you have not seen this movie, please don't look it up. Just watch it with us and experience it with us. And hopefully we make it through without a ban.